And one of the things I've noticed, which I'm sure you've noticed too, is that many people have a view about meditation that it's like shutting yourself down. A lot of people struggle when they meditate because they try to clear their mind. And that phrase, clear your mind, is sort of thrown around a lot. Clear your mind, clear your mind, clear your mind. And of course, you're sitting there trying to clear the mind, and the mind is screaming. And so people are struggling to clear their mind, to switch off their thoughts. I think people are struggling because the whole concept is not helpful. Trying to sort of go into a blank state is more like trying to become unconscious. It's like being in a coma or sort of unconscious. And so I think meditation has nothing to do with clearing the mind. It has nothing to do with switching off. It's about switching on. It's about waking up. And so the thoughts and the emotions, and particularly our pain, are very powerful catalysts in the practice if you can learn how to work with them in a creative way. So when we talk about meditation and we talk about consciousness and we talk about expanding our consciousness, which is obviously the theme here, what we're talking about is realizing that our mind is bigger than our thoughts. And some of the metaphors used for this in the texts, the ancient texts on meditation, are metaphors such as the sky or the ocean. Okay, so imagine you're flying in an aeroplane and the aeroplane is coming down to land. You look out of the window and it's all blue sky. And then you look down below you and there's this, this blanket of clouds. It's like cotton wool. And it looks very solid. The plane is coming down to land. Of course, we know that the plane is going to come down through the clouds and land. But if you didn't know that, maybe if you're a small child or somebody who just doesn't know how these things work, you might think that the plane is going to crash into the clouds because they look very solid. So in the metaphor, obviously the sky is our mind, the clouds are our thoughts and emotions, and this is what happens to us, is that when we are experiencing our thoughts and emotions, especially if they're difficult, painful thoughts and emotions, we tense up because we think we're going to crash. But of course, if you understand that your mind is just like that sky and the aeroplane is your awareness and you're able to just move through those thoughts and emotions without grabbing onto them and without pushing them away, then that's meditation. So another example is the ocean. The ocean has its natural flow, the waves. The waves are coming, the waves are going. The waves aren't separate from the ocean. They're just the natural expression of the ocean. So because of that non-separation, the ocean doesn't need to push away its waves or grab onto its waves. The ocean has no problem with its waves. So similarly, the mind doesn't need to have any problem with its thoughts and emotions if it learns just to accept. So I want to talk about a very simple meditation technique, which I'm sure you've all practiced, but I want to talk about it in this context. And that's when we meditate by focusing on our own breathing. I mean, that's a very basic, very classical meditation technique. And I want to talk about how this helps us to enhance our awareness. So when we're focusing on our breathing, we all know how quickly the plan fails. Because we sit down with the plan that we're going to meditate and we're going to focus on our breathing, and then within a few seconds we're thinking about what's for lunch. Or the mind is, going here and going there. That is where the training now kicks in, because here we now have the chance to notice that our mind got lost and bring our attention back to the breathing. So we're not trying to remove the thoughts, we're just bouncing back to the present moment. So we're just leaving the thought alone. We're not blocking it, we're not chasing it, we're just letting it be and returning. So every time we return to the breath, we're strengthening our awareness. We're building our relationship with our awareness. We are being that awareness. So we're being the sky instead of the clouds. And we do that again and again and again, and obviously we're going to get stronger at it and more able to come back to the present moment more swiftly. But we're not looking for anything. We're not searching for anything. So this is often the problem, is that we're searching. So myself, as you heard, I became a monk